There is a silence within you that remembers everything. Not just this life, but the echoes of others, layered deep beneath thought, beneath language, beneath what you have been taught to believe is real. In that silence, memories stir, some gentle, others wrapped in the ache of wounds too old to name. What if the pain you carry today isn't yours alone? What if it is the whisper of another version of you, another time, another story, still vibrating in your cells? The past is not behind us. It is not gone. It is imprinted, stored in the unconscious like ancient stone tablets buried under layers of dust. When left unseen, these memories become the architects of our fears, our patterns, our unexplainable emotions. Weiss, the quiet revolutionary of the soul's journey, teaches that trauma does not dissolve with death. It waits. And it waits until we are ready to see again. You may not remember the moment. You may not recall the face, the place, or the exact wound. But your body remembers. Your reactions, your phobias, your dreams, they are all messages from a soul that has been walking longer than your name can reach. Why do we fear abandonment so deeply when we have never truly been left in this life? Why does a simple gesture flood the heart with dread, or a stranger's voice feel like a forgotten lullaby? The answers lie not in the surface mind, but in the depth of consciousness. Regression is not fantasy. It is return. A return to moments that shaped your soul, hidden in a vault only the heart can unlock. When Dr. Weiss guided his patients under hypnosis, they did not find imagination. They found release. They found recognition. And through that recognition, they found healing. This journey is not about believing in reincarnation. It is about listening. Listening to the layers beneath the noise of the everyday, where your soul speaks in symbols, sensations, and sudden tears. Trauma that has traveled with you from another lifetime will not be resolved by ignoring it. It will soften only when you turn toward it with presence, curiosity, and compassion. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are ancient. And some part of you has been waiting a very long time to be heard again. If these words already stir something in your soul, some quiet knowing, some deep vibration, subscribe to this channel and share in the comments. What do you feel stirring inside you right now? This is just the beginning. Let us continue. A trigger is never random. It is a precise signal, delicate and piercing, summoning the part of you that still trembles in the dark. Most people rush to silence their triggers, to suppress them, medicate them, bury them beneath logic or distraction. But those who seek awakening know every trigger is a portal. A door back to the unresolved, the unseen, the unfinished echoes of a soul still carrying weight from lifetimes before. Imagine this. A child cries when left alone, not just out of fear, but from a grief so vast it seems to swallow the air. The parent sees a tantrum. The therapist sees attachment issues. But the soul may remember being abandoned in a war, or lost in a village fire, or orphaned by a plague long gone. The trigger today is not born today. It is the smoke from an ancient fire still burning quietly inside. Weiss discovered again and again that these emotional ruptures were not irrational. His patients, under deep regression, spoke languages they'd never learned, described lifetimes with such precision it left no space for coincidence. But more than the knowledge, it was the healing that proved the truth. After remembering, truly remembering, patients found lifelong fears dissolve, chronic pain vanish, and lifelong depression lift like a veil. Not from forgetting, but from finally seeing. When you are triggered, ask not, "What is wrong with me?" Ask instead, "What is being shown to me?" What soul fragment is calling for reunion? What story is asking to be completed? It is in these moments that presence becomes your greatest ally. To feel fully is to witness. And in witnessing, you offer the wound what it has always longed for: acknowledgement. Your triggers are not proof of weakness. They are signals of strength, evidence that your soul is ready, ready to reclaim what was lost, ready to love what was exiled, ready to stop running and instead listen. This requires courage, because what rises may not make sense to the logical mind. You may see images, feel emotions, hear sounds that seem disconnected from this life. But trust the vibration. The soul speaks in energy, in resonance, in tears that come before the story can form. Do not rush to interpret. Let the knowing emerge gently, like a dream surfacing from the deep. When you stop fearing your reactions and start honoring their origins, the past loses its grip. The thread begins to unravel, and in that unraveling you find not just the source of pain, but the light buried beneath it, a light that was never lost, only forgotten. Allow the next trigger you feel to be an invitation. Do not run, do not numb, sit, breathe, feel, and silently ask, from where do you come? The answer may surprise you, but it will also set you free. Your body is not just flesh. It is memory, sacred, layered, intelligent. Beneath the skin, beneath the pulse and breath, there is an atlas of emotion, of lives once lived, of traumas once endured and still echoing. The shoulder that aches without injury, the throat that tightens when truth approaches, the heart that races at a sound no one else hears, these are not malfunctions, they are messages, and the messenger is the soul. Weiss reminds us that the subconscious mind does not forget. Even when the conscious mind erases or dismisses, the body remembers. The body speaks for the soul when the voice cannot. And in the quiet moments, when we are still enough to listen, we begin to sense that the discomfort, the illness, the chronic tension, these are not enemies, they are storytellers. A woman dreams of drowning night after night. Her doctors find nothing wrong, her mind seems stable, but her chest tightens every time she nears water. Under regression, she recalls a past life. One ended suddenly, swallowed by the sea. The dream, the fear, the breathlessness. They weren't random, they were real. Not in this life, but in a life whose vibrations still reside within her nervous system. The body holds what the mind forgets. The hips may carry the sorrow of loss. The jaw may clench from unspoken truths. The hands may tremble from violence once endured. This is not mysticism. It is somatic memory, a truth now echoed by both ancient healing systems and modern neuroscience. The fascia, the nervous system, the cellular matrix, they all absorb experience. And experience, when unprocessed, becomes residue. Residue becomes symptom. But when we turn inward with gentleness and precision, we can begin to map these symptoms back to their source. The pain becomes a doorway. The tension becomes a guide. And through this somatic path, we are led slowly, lovingly back to the part of ourselves that has been holding on for centuries. Do not fight your body. It is not against you. It is the oldest companion you have. Every sensation is an offering, every reaction a breadcrumb. When you feel pain, ask not just what it means in the physical, but what it reveals in the energetic. What memory is seeking release? What moment is calling to be witnessed finally with presence? The practice is subtle. Place a hand where it hurts. Breathe. Close your eyes. Let images arise without judgment. A face, a place, a sudden wave of emotion. Do not dismiss them. Let them pass through. Let them speak. This is not imagination. It is remembrance in motion. To heal through the body is to honor the ancient intelligence it holds. You are not simply healing injuries. You are completing stories. And in the completion, the body no longer needs to carry the weight alone. We have been taught to view time as a straight line, a forward-moving arrow, beginning with birth and ending with death. But this is only the illusion of the physical mind. The soul does not travel through time in a line. It moves in spirals, in waves, in pulses of remembrance that transcend the boundaries of clocks and calendars. The past, present, and future exist simultaneously in the field of consciousness. And in that field, your soul revisits what is unfinished, not bound by time but by vibration. Weiss revealed this through thousands of cases. Patients would regress to past lives, but also leap forward, glimpsing future incarnations, not as fantasy, but as vibrational truth unfolding in the now. Because the soul does not wait, it acts where the frequency calls. The pain you feel today might belong to a wound centuries old, but to your soul it is still now. And the healing you invite today echoes backward and forward, rippling across lifetimes. When you understand this, you begin to release urgency. There is no rush to be healed all at once, no final point of arrival. Each insight, each moment of stillness, each tear shed in truth, is a correction across time. You are not only healing your present self, you are liberating all versions of you who ever felt forgotten, trapped, or unseen. The soul is timeless. It is vast, like a sky holding the weather of 1,000 yesterdays. And in that sky, storms return not to punish you but to invite resolution. What you call karma is not punishment, it is repetition. A vibration returning to you, seeking a different response. A chance to choose love instead of fear, stillness instead of reactivity, awareness instead of sleep. To step into this awareness is to reclaim your power. You are not a victim of your past lives. You are the healer of them. You are the one who can hold what was once too heavy. You are the one who can look at the wound and not flinch. And in doing so, you change the resonance of that moment. Not just for yourself, but for every version of you still entangled in it. This is the true miracle of spiritual regression. It is not escapism. It is integration. It is presence deep enough to stretch across time and pull back what was lost, not to relive it, but to hold it with new light. Do not ask, what lifetime did this begin in? Ask instead, how is this vibration moving through me now? The timelines will show themselves when they are ready. What matters most is your willingness to sit in the mystery, to breathe into the unknown, to trust that what rises is ready to be transmuted. When we stop fearing time, we begin to experience eternity. And in that sacred expanse, healing becomes not a goal but a remembrance, a return to the original frequency of the soul, whole, luminous, and free. There comes a moment, quiet, almost imperceptible, when the wound no longer defines you, when the sorrow no longer owns your breath, when the echoes of past lives become songs of liberation instead of shadows of pain. That moment is not given to you. It is remembered, and it arrives when you finally stop searching outside and begin to listen within. For in the sanctuary of silence, your soul speaks clearly. You have always been whole. You simply forgot. Weiss did not teach people to believe. He taught them to remember, to surrender to the wisdom already within them. Through gentle regression, they found not fantasy, but home. Not escape, but meaning. And in that space of sacred remembrance, the trauma that once felt eternal began to dissolve, transformed not by time, but by truth. You do not need to recall every past life to heal. You need only to become still enough to hear what this moment is trying to reveal, because the pain is not here to torment you. It is here to teach you presence, to awaken you to the part of yourself that survived, that witnessed, that endured, that now chooses to return and complete the spiral. This is the revolution of the inner path, to stop running, to stand where you are and open, to see your triggers as guides, your body as scripture, your emotions as sacred language, and to trust fully that what is rising for release. You are not cursed. You are being called, and what waits beyond that call is not just relief, it is freedom. Freedom from the unconscious contracts you signed in fear, freedom from the stories you inherited and never questioned, freedom from the illusion that you are limited to this one life, this one name, this one version of who you think you are. You are vast, you are luminous, you are ancient. And every time you remember this, even for a breath, the weight lifts, the veil thins, the vibration shifts, and the soul exhales. Now imagine living from that space, not once, not in fleeting moments, but as a steady state of being. This is not a dream, it is a return to the version of you who lives without shame, without fragmentation, without the burden of forgotten pain. That version already exists. It is waiting for you to remember. This path is not linear, it spirals, it loops, it returns to what you thought you had finished, only to offer a deeper layer of truth. But if you meet each return with reverence, with breath, with compassion, you will find that nothing is repeating, everything is refining, and that perhaps is the deepest truth. You are not broken. You are in process, a process of sacred remembering, a process of soul retrieval, a process of becoming again what you never stopped being: light, presence, wholeness. So pause, breathe, feel what stirs inside you now.